I've been around the business cards.
Okay, I was like, what?
Oh!
What's she cheating about?
It took me probably, if I add up the hours, I worked with a designer. It probably took me 30 hours and a lot of money to develop my business card because I'm very virtual. So, you know, how long did it take you to develop your business card?
About 16 years.
Yeah,
yours keeps going, very good.
Very good. 30 years.
Yeah.
And you
Most
change
people-
yours quite often.
Yeah.
That's neat. Yes.
If you work for a company, you just put your name and title into,
That's what I'm missing. That's what I should have done.
Yeah, right. Okay, how long did it take you to select your outfit for today?
5 minutes.
10 minutes. I had to iron, so it took me a little longer. You iron?
Well, yeah, but
I
you,
have an iron, yeah.
that was just preparation, not picking it out.
And how long did it take you to apply makeup?
What makeup?
Okay. And how long did it take you to decide what body language you were going to use today?
We didn't think of it at all.
Yep. But how much of our message is conveyed by body language?
90%?
Somewhere between 70 and 95%, depending on the study that you read. So,
Do I need to take that?
no, we're good right now. So the message is we spend a lot of time in doing things that are important to us, but what we don't spend the time thinking about is what conveys the vast majority of our message. So, the human body does not lie.
I like that.
True.
It can sort of tell a half-truth for a little bit of time, but consistently it can't. It doesn't lie. Betsy, next one. Sorry. Body language has 4 components. It's nonverbal communication, and it transmits information through posture, gestures, facial expressions, and eye movement. So it's not speech. It's not movement. So dance is not body language. Singing is not body language. Yelling is not body language. Body language is all of the other stuff that you don't even notice. We are acclimated to ignore body language, but we really don't. Subliminally, we don't. I grew up in New York City, and I am totally attuned to body language, correct? Who else grew up in a...
Or you wouldn't be alive.
Right, that's right. You know body language. How else are you subliminally attuned to body language?
If someone becomes disinterested and they're kind of looking around, or they kind of have a glazed over look instantly.
Right, it's just
change direction.
You don't have to do a lot of processing, right? So we have PhDs in body language the moment we're born, don't we? What we're going to talk about today is unfortunately much shorter than what we're not going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 5 highlights of your visual business card, which is you, and we're going to talk about how you project yourself through body language. What we're not going to talk about is body languages for cultures other than Caucasian American business culture. What we're talking about, does not work in the tribes here, does not work with in the Hispanic culture, does not work in Southeast Asia. So what I always have to, Laura.
I'm sorry, this is the editor and me being precise, but you mean apply.
Apply, I'm sorry.
I'm asking.
Yes.
So,
thank you for, yeah. So it is, I always have to be very, very careful in that because we're talking from one standpoint. It also is not 100% applicable to how children display body language because they have not not gone through some of the acculturation that we've gone through. It also, we're not going to go through the whole issue about how you tell if somebody's lying, or if your spouse is cheating, or how to ace the job interview, or how to flirt and get the guy, or how to, close the sale. That's not what we're about today. The other thing is we're not going to be looking at it from reading somebody else. We're going to be looking at it from our point of view, because it's a whole other look at it when I'm trying to say, so what is Betsy thinking? Today I'm really focusing on how do I display interest versus how do I see if Betsy's interested. So we can deal with that part in the question. So thanks. Next slide. When do we begin to use body language?
Immediately.
Right. How did he learn to smile?
Watching somebody else.
Watching others smile.
Right. And how did he learn? Well, how did he learn to cry? I don't know, but he has good lungs. This kid has great lungs. But yeah, we use body language immediately. Great. Next slide. So give me some examples about why body language is important in business. In banking, how do you use body language?
Actually, I sit here and I watch people go in and go out. You can tell if they had a good bank experience. You can tell if someone's casing the place. You can look at their body. No, I'm serious. People walking in, turning around and walking out. I watch a lot of body language in this place, and you can pick up on some characters that should not be in here, and just by the way that they're kind of looking around and they're kind of trying to be invisible. So, absolutely.
So what about in insurance, Betsy?
Well, you can see if somebody is, you can really tell if they're blocking your presentation. If you're there for a sales call, you can really tell if they're blocking by their body language.
I don't I deal with a computer most of the day. That's not something I would think of, but I remember just reading on LinkedIn about presidents being politicians, and they tend to lean into people and even touch them and really show interest in the person. It's truly use a lot of body language.
Definitely.
Yes.
And that works for the counseling and coaching.
Right.
Just what you said.
Right. And in the counseling and coaching, what I'm looking for is that moment where they are open to hearing me, because all of the other times they're not even open to it.
You can feel body energy, can't
Right.
you?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
What about in law enforcement? How does a law enforcement person use body language?
Oh, they stand like a black belt, like on two legs, centrally mounted so that they look strong and in control.
And the other thing is that way they're balanced so they can
Defend.
I mean, they have to use body language to survive. They have to use body language to determine whether or not the person coming at them is a threat, and how they have to assess how much of a threat that person is. So their body language skills have to be extremely well developed. So everybody uses body language. The extent to which they understand it will determine how successful they are.